Today I put about 50 miles on the 2018 Kodiak 450. Yamaha's mighty little gem here. We are at Capitol State Park in Olympia, Washington, ride testing the nimble, agile, fun, sporty little sport quad almost, but it's a four-wheel drive sport quad, I like to think. If I had a big giant monster quad, I don't know if I would have enjoyed the day as much as I did today. To get a feel for why Yamaha thought it was necessary to build this Kodiak 450 compact ATV, I talked to Travis Hollins, ATV and side-by-side product planning manager. Wow.
John, what do you think?
Yeah. Well, you picked the right machine for out there. It is tight.
Yeah.
A little dusty, as you can tell.
There's a little dust. Haven't had a little rain out here for a while.
Yeah, but man, if I was on a big bore monster quad,
yeah,
I might have crashed today. Yeah. Because there's stuff aimed everywhere that you got to be on your toes today.
Oh yeah.
And I think this is the ultimate machine for being on your toes.
Yeah,
I'm able to move around. It's small, it's nimble,
and it goes where you point it.
Yeah.
You know, that's the great thing about it.
That's what I'm going to take out of this Kodiak 450 is for half the price. I'm having just as much fun, and in certain situations I'm on a better machine.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Especially you're crossing some of those bridges and stuff. I mean, you just couldn't fit a bigger machine down there.
And you are part of the reason this exists.
Oh yeah.
You saw a need as part of the product planning management team, and the need is something that an entry level. Yeah,
so obviously we had the Grizzly 450 prior to this new Kodiak 450. So obviously, that was a great machine. Yeah. There's a lot of customers out there that have been using them from a durability, reliability standpoint. It's top-notch, machine out there. And we saw a lot of areas we could improve it. Obviously, fuel injection was one of the biggest areas, but really the overall vehicle, dimensions and size and chassis was what really drove the project.
Yeah.
A lot of the other models out there, even though the engine size is smaller, the physical chassis is huge.
This is not a Kodiak 700 that you just detune.
No,
this is a
completely unique chassis machine to the 450 with the 450 motor and everything. So,
and like you were just about to say, Yamaha does that.
Yeah, that's kind of a Yamaha exclusive to this category. Right. A lot of the other guys are bigger chassis. So, really fitting that need of a customer that's looking for something that's compact and nimble and easy to handle. But we also focused on making sure it was roomy. So, larger full-size guys could ride it just as easily as, smaller.
You didn't make it too narrow. It's still got a nice platform. I'm not in and out of the single track that we're in today. If you would have went a little narrower, I'm still in paths that other machines are in, and I feel stable and secure and right. So it's smaller, but it's not narrower. It's
exactly.
Still a good wide footprint.
So we actually increased the overall width about 3 inches from the old Grizzly 450, and we did that primarily for comfort. Comfort's a big issue. A lot of people are looking for that really plush ride and that nimble handling on the trail. So that just gives you that. We use the term a lot, confidence. You can go up and down the trails and the corners and over the obstacles.
There's nothing. No bump steer. I feel confident and comfortable on this machine. It's just in situations where you have to be, like out there today, you got to be on your toes. And if I had a bump steer problem or a spot where I can't use my legs. Exactly. There's been 4x4s where I'm riding and I feel like I'm on a big giant horse. I can't use my legs. I'm just all arms.
Exactly.
This was is one of my, I'll take this as one of my favorite things. I'm able to really almost like the name 450. I feel like I'm on this sport quad.
Sport quad, right?
And I can move around, and you did a good job here. It's really a put together machine.
Part of that small compact chassis and vehicle was that slimmer, narrower tank area, and really being able to straddle it and having comfort.
And we're at $5,900 for this thing, entry level. If you want EPS, it's more. But there's one thing that struck me: no diff lock. But I was thinking, man, why would they put a diff lock? But then I thought to myself, how many times do I actually really use diff lock? If I'm really, really wet.
If you're a really aggressive rider and you're in some really technical terrain, diff lock definitely has a huge advantage for you.
There's only a small handful of times I've really used it, so I could see where you're trying to cut some costs to get the small entry level
Yeah, most 450 buyers are a little more on the first-time buyer side.
Yeah.
You know, not a lot of experience. So, you know, I think most of those guys that are a little more experienced behind their belts are probably going to be leaning a little more towards the Kodiak 700.
Right.
But the 450, you know, being smaller, more nimble, you know, the four-wheel drive system works great.
It does.
We've got the push-button two-wheel drive, four-wheel drive, so it's very easy to put it in and out.
Nothing confusing on this machine. Get on and go.
It's very simple.
Yep.
You know, the Ultramatic has all-wheel engine braking. A lot of the competitors out there don't have engine braking, so that's another kind of confidence level. Obviously, full-size 25-inch tires. You know, both the other competitors out there are running 24s. Fully independent suspension, front and rear.
Really
some
plush
of the
ride.
Some of the competitors are solid axle in the rear.
We're hammering through some of the whoops. It's not made for that.
Yeah.
But I can tell. Wow.
Soaks it up.
It soaks it up.
Yeah.
Still. It's not. I'm not trying to motocross stuff today.
Yeah.
But everywhere else, it was set up really plush and nice.
Exactly.
Awesome ride.
Yeah.
And the power is it's a 700. You're going to get more juice out of a 700.
Sure. Absolutely.
421 cc.
421 fuel injected.
That's the same engine as the old Kodiak.
It's the same engine as the old Kodiak, obviously with fuel injection now.
Right.
We did do some clutching changes to it, so it's a little bit more relaxed feeling on the trail.
Right.
We added rubber engine mounts as well, so that improves the overall vibration and again that kind of quality feeling on the trail.
Right.
So we were going after a little more relaxed ride. You know, you said it's kind of like a sport machine, but it really doesn't feel like a sport machine. It's got a very relaxed nature to it, but it still has that 450 power. It still gets up and goes, but it's really about, you know, that overall comfort.
Yeah, well, I was just going to say, we almost forgot while we were talking comfort. This new, Yamaha hasn't done a new thumb throttle in a while.
Yeah.
But this thing's got a really cool, if I'm giant, I'm still on this thing. It's a really creative thumb throttle we've made.
Yep.
And nice. I like it.
It's a wide platform, so basically you can kind of pick the spot on the thumb throttle that's most comfortable for you, and it just gives everybody kind of their ideal position for what they want to do.
Right.
So.
And this new floorboard, lots of room and lots of traction, which is great, because I think most people aren't riding motocross boots.
No, not at all.
I've got my over-the-ankle hiking boots.
Yep.
And with that, I've got plenty of traction. I can move around, and if you're you're on a slippery hillside, I like this. I don't know if I've seen that before.
Yep.
So
we spent a lot of time working on just the rider environment. We pushed the rear fenders back, we pushed the front fenders forward, we moved the gear shifter, and we skinnied up the seat and the tank junction. We kept the engine as compact as we could. And then, we made as much traction and as wide as you can. Those floorboards are actually bigger than any of the competitive models as well. So it really just accommodates as wide a variety of people and sizes as possible. Is it going to outsell the Kodiak 700? Because that's Yamaha's highest. Boy,
that's the product right now. People want this. Do they want the 700 Kodiak is selling better than the Grizzly?
Actually, the Kodiak 700 is the fastest growing four-wheel drive utility ATV in the market right now.
And you can get this machine for $2,000 less. Yep. About. And then and it's brand new. So I wonder if this might take over as a hot seller. Should be interesting.
Ideally, we think they're both going to sell, fantastic. This is a whole different category of product. So there's
where every neighbor wants to have the bigger and better, and everyone try to get what your neighbor has. This big monster 4x4 that costs $12,000. This should be interesting what Yamaha's done with.
Yeah, absolutely.
Bring it back to the.
And most guys, if you're that guy that's been riding for a long time and you want the biggest and the best, the Grizzly 700 is definitely it. If you're looking for a second vehicle for another family member, or just something to go. Economically priced and easy to get into, the Kodiak 450 is a great machine for that.
Right.
Or if you're just getting into ATVing and you want something that is going to be reliable, it's going to hold up, and you can put anybody on it and feel comfortable, and not be nervous that they're got too much power under them or going to get out of shape. The Kodiak 450 is a fantastic choice for that.
I've always been a fan of Yamaha. If anyone watches my videos, there's good stuff. I mean, you guys make quality product, and that's why I love it.
Absolutely.
And then we're talking entry-level Kodiak. This struck me. But this instrument panel isn't like an entry-level panel that you'd see there's stuff on here that isn't on the Grizzly.
It's a full-featured digital instrument, you know, absolutely.
I didn't expect it. I thought there'd be some, you know, basic knob or something. But you've got stuff on this panel that will tell me when it's time to change my oil. We
do have a service interval timer on it now. Neat. So yeah, so you can reset that, and you know, it'll remind you when to change the oil or when to change the filter or whichever you know, service interval you want to monitor.
Well done with this machine. I'm at a blast and we'll go out and ride some more.
Sounds great. Thanks, John.
Yep. Suspension's been greatly improved from the old 450 to the new Kodiak 450. You get 5-way gas-powered adjustable shocks on every corner, and it's a really plush, nice ride. There's no, there is a bottom if you're hitting some of these whoops, like where you can see what we're hitting today. There's definitely, we tested the machine out, but I don't want a 4x4 that handles good in the whoops anyway. I want an all-day comfortable ride, and that's what I got with this Kodiak. It's a great plush ride, and I was about to go messing around with the adjustments, but just the way it came was what I liked best. It's just get on it and ride all day. Really comfortable feel. I'm glad that Yamaha went with a 25-inch tire on this machine and not something, it's a smaller machine, so they might have been tempted to put something smaller on. I like the bigger tires. It's a 25-inch, 4-ply CST tire, and it's got a kind of a hard pack to it. It doesn't roll. And I think they made up ground on that with their suspension. They didn't have to have a soft, spongy tire because they, like I said, they had the 5-way adjustable gas-powered shocks. So that combined with the tires made it a really nice feel. And no flats either. We had a lot of sharp rocks today, and I was surprised not one flat, and there's probably 8 of us riding 50 miles, so pretty good. What I'm going to take away from the Kodiak 450 is Yamaha's created a plush, mid-sized machine that doesn't beat you up like the old days. The old days when you had a little mid-sized 4x4, you can expect to be sore and kind of beat up after a long day's ride. Now, and you don't get that with the big bore, plush, bigger ATVs that are available, but they cost $10,000, $12,000. This entry-level 450 Kodiak gives you the best of both worlds. You've got a machine that is just as plush as those machines at a fraction of the price and is very nimble to get through some of this tight terrain. All versions of Yamaha's 2018 Kodiak 450 are available at your dealer right now. Hey, if you like this video, why not click, like, and subscribe?